What's up, fellas? Coming at you guys today with a new format that I'm gonna try to implement. This video is gonna be called 5 Modern Post-Industrial Albums You Need to Listen to. So, post-industrial is kind of a niche genre. It consists of power electronics, death industrial, harsh noise, and like dark ambient. Now, I'm no expert on post-industrial. I've only recently got into them, but I have been listening to the classics like White House and Death Pile and Atrax Morgue and shit like that. Also, this video is kind of a spin-off of this this YouTube channel called Deep Cuts that made a top 5 albums that get you into power electronics. And I thought it would be cool if I introduced to you guys, if you haven't known already, some great power electronics. But it's not all power electronics. There's a little bit of everything of post-industrial in what I'm about to show you. But without further ado, let's go. Now, this first album I have talked about a few times before. It actually ended up being in like my top 5 of last year, and that is Subduer with Death Monolith. Subduer is a project. It mixes black metal with harsh noise, and it's only 4 songs, but it's really fucking chaotic. The noise is just ear splitting. The vocals are roared and really distorted. I just really love it. It definitely doesn't overstay its welcome with only being 4 songs long. They should be coming out with a full length soon. At least I'm guessing they are. At least I'm hoping they are. But yeah, a great post-industrial album, Subduer's Death Monolith. Now, up next, we got Milat with You're Not Coming Home. Now, for whatever reason, this came in like a DVD container, but it's a CD. So, Milat, this is a power electronics project. It reminds me a lot of Death Pile or maybe even White House. Like, it's just like harsh noise in the background, and then like incoherent like babbling and just screaming and tirades and shit like that. But I think it's really cool. The lyrical content here is a little offensive. Like, obviously, You're Not Coming Home. This is basically talking about like the horrors of like war and like being a prisoner of war and shit like that. But yeah, Milat with You're Not Coming Home. Great power electronics. Now we're gonna move into the dark ambient side with, probably gonna butcher this pronunciation, Clavicvla with Sermons. This guy right here. Now, this project, this is dark ambient mixed with power electronics mixed with black metal. It's really droney. It's eerie. It builds up. It paints the soundscape of pure bleakness and suspense. Like, the songs are really like long, but there are some vocals once in a while. They're black metal vocals. That's like the only black metal attribute it has. But yeah, this is really great. Sounds good on the headphones. Just if you want to put your mind in like in a place of just pure terror, just throw this bad boy on. Now for number 4, we're gonna move to Death Industrial. This is actually a pretty well-known project, but I'm talking about Pharmakon's Contact. This Death Industrial project, I believe Pharmakon produces everything too. I don't have too much knowledge on them or her. Maybe that's her surname. I don't know. I'm new to Pharmakon, but this album is fucking intense. Just straight up from the first song. It's this industrial analog synth that's like cracking your ears open, and she's just screaming. And this is like some of the most horrific and stomach churning screams that I've ever heard. Like just off the first track of this alone, Nakedness of Need. It's really fucking good. It's chaotic. I really love the production on it. But just yeah, and I think the cover art is fucking gross. Like it looks fucking nasty. Bunch of hands and then her face right there. I don't know. Just imagine like they haven't washed their hands in a few days. And they're all just kind of groping her face. But yeah, Pharmakon with Contact. Now for my number 5. I have reviewed this album before. You might know what's coming up next. I would put their new album here, but it hasn't arrived yet. But this is the album that got me into post-industrial, specifically power electronics. And that is Puce Mary the Spiral. This definitely was my introduction to the post-industrial scene. Since this album came out in like 2016, I believe. Since I already reviewed this album, I wanted to put her new album, The Drought, as number 1 on here, but fucking pressing factories or something are fucking up right now and I haven't gotten it yet, even though I pre-ordered it back in like fucking August of last year. But so we're just gonna talk about this album instead. But yeah, Puce Mary the Spiral. Really ominous. I could see this being like the soundtrack to like a horror movie. I guess, I won't go too in depth on this album because I have a whole video dedicated to this album. But it's really eerie, really creepy, really dissonant, really bleak. It's just a swelling cauldron of black darkness, and I fucking love it. And that is, well, those are 5 albums, 5 great modern post-industrial albums. I think the post-industrial scene is starting to become a favorite of mine. Lately, I've only been listening to like black metal, power violence, and post-industrial shit like that. But yeah, it's really fucking good. If you guys, I'm not an expert yet. I'm still backtracking to the classics, and I'm still trying to get into the new ones. But yeah, that's all I got. Coming down the pipe. Next video I do is probably gonna be on these guys over here, my vinyl. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, and